Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wake Up Waldwick Live. This is our 10th episode. 10th. Wrap your head around that. 10th live episode. That means that we've been here for at least 10 weeks. It's a little over 80 days, which is insane. Whether you think it's been going fast or you think it's been going quick, that's a long time. There's a lot going on in our country right now, good and bad. We'll unpack some of that later, but for now, just take a break, just chill. Wake Up Waldwick, the only place for all of your Waldwick news and entertainment. So sit back and relax. You know the deal. Tonight, your dreams came true. Everybody was super excited. And I'm sure you'll be excited to hear that it is Mr. Left on the show tonight. Everybody wanted him. I want him. I want to hear what he has to say. So get hyped for that. That'll be coming in very, very soon, very shortly. In tonight's episode, we also will unpack a nice little message for one more nice little message for our beloved class of 2020. And next week, the video of their graduation will come out. As well as we'll see what everybody learned this year. So that should be exciting. Alrighty. Before we begin, just the same old that you guys are tired of. Twitter, @WarriorBC1. Go follow it. And Instagram, @Warrior Broadcast Center. Why we didn't just keep it the same name, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm the one who named it. But go follow both of them, please and thank you. Please try and help us grow the show. It would really be helpful if we're going to keep doing this throughout the summer, that we get some good audience on, get a lot of ideas from the audience, and we get to know what they want to see. Plus, that'll come in handy this summer if you know what's up, and then we get a lot of people on for Kahoots this summer, interactive games and activities that we're going to look into. The channel's looking hot over on the YouTube channel. Make sure to check out some of our past episodes in case you missed them, or even just videos from ages ago. It seems like ages ago that while we were in school that we worked hard on. Speaking of the channel, the WHS graduation ceremony that I mentioned before is going to be thrown up on there in not too long. I believe next Friday. Melts is putting that together, and before that airs, we will have a nice little hype show, just to hype it up a little bit. So get excited for that and make sure you're there. Alrighty. And now we're done with the old business. We're going to start off the show with a bang. We got Mr. Left in the house, everybody's favorite gamer, teacher, gamer. Let's see it.
Mr. Left, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. I know you don't like to show your face, so we respect that. So we got camera off, you know.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, I know before the whole lockdown, I spotted you at Dairy Queen having some ice cream.
That's
but
true.
I didn't get to see. You know, are you a vanilla or chocolate person? What's up?
I am a chocolate person.
Chocolate. All right. Okay. We know that you're a pretty big gamer. So what are your top 5 all-time games? Favorite games of all time?
Yeah, 5's kind of cutting it. I wish I had listed 10. But if I had to guess, I guess do 5.
Do 10?
Oh, we can do 10? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So I guess at 10, I'll put the one that everybody knows I'm currently on, right? It was in the trivia Kahoot the other day. Overwatch, right?
Of course.
9, counting down, the StarCraft, Warcraft genre.
All right.
I guess 8 would be Super Mario Brothers 3. So going back old school Nintendo. Also old school Nintendo for number 7, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec for number 6 there. Top 5, Mortal Kombat, and I guess the original and the entire series. Number 4, Daytona USA. Wolfenstein 3D would be number 3, the first-person shooter ever. Number 2 would be something called The Secret of Monkey Island. Most people don't know what that is. It's a Lucasfilm game from the early 90s. And then my number 1 that I always, I kind of developed this list by what I always kind of go back to and keep playing. It's a game called Shining in the Darkness. It was for the Sega Genesis. Again, I guess it would be more like a type of like Final Fantasy game, but
All right. Good choices.
thank you.
Good choices. What got you into playing video games?
I guess I would say my dad had an Atari 2600 when I was very small, and I used to play on that, the one with the the joysticks that you always see, the Pac-Man stuff and Pong. But I guess it really started in 1986, 87
yeah.
when I got my original NES from Santa.
Always good. Santa brings it.
Yep.
Now I heard that you even built your own PC. How and why did you do this?
Well, I guess since 1989, that was when I first got my original PC, my first PC. That was an IBM PS2. I've always been interested in computers and consider it basically a hobby of mine, even to today. Right, I follow the daily tech occurrences from what new chips are coming out, the new features and operating systems. And I guess I thought it would be fun to build my own PC. Also, I was tired of having the same kind of beige box that everybody used to have, and I also would have to call like tech support from a company on that, and they weren't very helpful, and you'd also be waiting there a long time. So I figured I'd just do it myself. So now I'm on my own tech support, and I have a better understanding of my other components inside, and I get to personalize everything in my rig, and it's unique to me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Maybe something that more people should do.
Yeah, it's not too hard actually.
Speaking of hobbies, you're also pretty interested in roller coasters.
I am.
How did that come about?
How did that come about? I guess 10 years or a decade of my life of fun was stolen from me because I had a traumatic experience when I was 8. I was on, long story, but I try to cut it short. I was on my parents were told to go on Space Mountain. It was going to be a fun ride. We didn't know it was a roller coaster. And back in the day, it was basically, I had 2 seats in the ride vehicle. My mom was in the back, my dad was in the front. I was on top of my dad, and I guess technically the seatbelt was around me, but all I remember is that my dad's hands were around me, and that was, in my view, my only safety system. And this was a roller coaster. Didn't know it was a roller coaster. Basically, I've never been on one before in my life, so it was going faster than ever. And also, for those that don't know, Space Mountain is in the dark. So never went on for another one until 10 years later, when my friends and I had to go to Six Flags, and basically nothing was open but roller coasters. So we didn't want to waste any money, so they kind of forced me on. And ever since then, I have been a coaster fan. I've realized that I like them and I enjoy the adrenaline rush from them.
Well, you faced your fears.
That's true.
That's good.
And now I spend the summer months on trips across the country to find and ride new roller coasters.
Oh, wow. And even in the math club, right? I believe, don't they go, or is it AP?
It's technically AP Calculus. Mrs. Dmitriev does the trip herself, but I work my way on to being a chaperone for the trip. So yes, that's always fun.
Now, we know that you went to Don Bosco.
True.
For high school, not too far. What was your experience like at Don Bosco in comparison to Waldwick High School?
Well, I guess as a student, it was shorter. Right, Bosco doesn't have to meet the state standards of 180 days. So when we had a big snowstorm in 95 to 96 there, we didn't actually make up the days. So it is great as a student, but it does come as a cost that you realize later on. When I went into college, I wasn't as prepared as I probably should have been because I just didn't get the math material that I needed to do some of the work.
So was this part of why you wanted to become a math teacher or something else?
No, I kind of always wanted to become a teacher ever since I was little. I always liked school and enjoyed learning new things. I just had to really find a subject. A lot of the teachers that you have, or a lot of teachers that you talk to, probably also had a teacher in the family. I don't. I'm the first generation, I guess you can say. So I was inspired, I guess you can say, by my freshman and sophomore year math teacher from Bosco, Mr. Shornstead. He was a brilliant guy, and we always had fun in his class.
Why do you think that math is so important in the real world? Like, what's your take on that?
Well, your phones, the recent SpaceX launch, right? Any tall building, any roller coaster, any engineering wouldn't be possible without math, right? So, and today's job world, the Googles, Facebooks, Amazon, and Netflix of the world, all they do is collect customer data and have AI analyze it to give you some kind of recommendations on things to buy or ads for you to see.
There you go. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Left.
You're welcome,
for
Lenny.
coming on.
No problem.
Learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I love that. Nice to see both you lads, Mr. Left, gamer by heart, He's a big Overwatch fan. I've never really played it, nor many of those games that you got on that list, but some of them I have. And I've got my own list of games that I gotta start chipping away at. I got a lot of lists for this whole thing. I think this summer, if I don't cross off a good amount of my items on the lists, I mean, I've got lists for shows I want to watch, movies I want to watch, books I got to read, chores I got to do, little craft projects I want to get to. So I think that, at least for me, it helps me at least think I'm being productive. So if anybody is really bored and doesn't know what's going on, and won't know what's going on for the next couple weeks, um, I suggest making a couple lists. I mean, I'm not even chipping away at any of them that fast. The games, which should be the easy thing, I guess, so sidetracked. But I did finish Rick and Morty. Just thought everybody should know. Great show. Thought everybody should know that I finished it. And Mr. Left, great to see you. I doodled that little pickup real quick. Hope you like it. I'll draw a more accurate one next time. And then Lily, thank you for putting that together very nicely. And now for the second week in a row, onto the next. For the second week in a row, we have an entry from someone outside of Warrior Broadcast Center. Sayuri throws her name into the ring with this really pretty tribute for the seniors, the class of 2020, the class that got robbed. With that, know that we're always looking for suggestions, segments. So hit us up, just like Sayuri did, just like Mike did last week, and we can throw it into the show, just like we are here. So here's Sayuri's nice little piece. Let's see it. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Sayuri, for putting that together. Very kind of you. And now on Thursday of this week, staying on that same topic, which happened to be yesterday. Thursday was yesterday. The seniors had a really scrappy put together. It was a makeshift graduation. They did their nice little. They went on the stage. They got their loot. They secured it, and then they did a little dance, and then they walked off. And Melts recorded all of it. Trusty Melts recording all of it, and he's going to put that together for a nice little a supplement graduation next Friday. And make sure you're here for that next Friday. We're not sure the time yet, but we will let you know. And in July, hopefully, we will get an actual graduation. We will have to see, but for now, this works, and hopefully, um, while this isn't the same, the seniors are still getting kind of hyped for this because it's a big moment in your lives. Um, and we're all super proud of you. Congratulations. That was not good. We are all super proud of you. I don't know why I said it so flat, but we are, and I'm sorry that that came out flat. On top of that, last night at 6 o'clock was the winter slash spring sports awards night. Very wholesome messages from each coach regarding their teams and especially the seniors of each team. This took place. This took the place of both the winter and spring um, varsity dinners that we unfortunately missed out on. But some really wholesome messages again were thrown in there. Go check that out if you have the chance. Any senior families or just anybody in high school, I thought was pretty nice. Now with that, varsity dinner, spring sports, if they were a thing, are closed. With that, there's a lot of signs that the end is near. It's a week away, if you didn't realize. Very strange. It doesn't feel like it is. It doesn't feel like it's any time, at least for me. But for seniors, that means peace out, Waldwick. For underclassmen, it means you got to schedule your workload for next year. So make sure everybody's on top of that with your counselors, as well as um, getting on top of SATs and ACTs, because I know there's a lot of new news regarding that stuff. So including myself, I'm saying that as a procrastinator that I need to look into that stuff and get my schedule sorted out. So I'm saying it to you, putting it in second person, but it's directions for me to do. That's why I'm saying it. But maybe you're in my boat, so that's why you need that reminder too. All right. So now let's reflect on this before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Think about next year. Think about college. Let's reflect on this past school year. It's been wild. Some of the Waldwick homies had to help me think of the big things that I learned this year. Hit it. What is up? I was just in a chair over there. Now I'm in a beanbag right here. So that's pretty cool. We're about to finish the school year. So I thought that I should think about what I learned this school year. But for the life of me, I couldn't think just in the moment. So I asked some of my WHS buddies what they learned. Let's go hear it, and maybe I'll think of something.
Virtual learning has taught me how to adapt to something right out of nowhere in the snap of a finger. It also taught me now kids have an excuse to show up to school in their pajamas. Now, with that being said, congratulations to the class of 2020, and great job, guys. We've done a great job this year. Keep up the good work. Have a great summer.
Definitely, John. Definitely. Virtual learning has taught us a lot. That it works. It can be done. And the seniors are pushing. They might not look it, but class of 2020 is strong. They're resilient. What else do we learn?
I learned that no matter how early I came back from Independent, I could never find a parking spot in the lot.
Well, I haven't had to deal with that yet, Emer. I hope that I don't have that issue next year. Speaking of Emer, great student council treasurer. And speaking of student council, Mr. Freeman, student council advisor, I learned, look, it's getting my gears going. I learned that it's not the best idea to wear an Astros hat in front of Mr. Freeman, or an Astros hat at all, whether they beat the Yankees in the ALCS or not. The Astros are just the worst, so don't wear an Astros hat. I learned that.
Okay, so one thing that I learned this year was about hard work and dedication. So whatever you put your hard work and dedication into, whether it's athletically, academically, mentally, physically, any of that stuff, if you put hard work into that stuff, you'll always come out with your end result, and you'll always gain, something that you want.
Hey, you heard the guy. He's speaking from experience. I mean, I learned that Mike McFerrin is one persistent and determined bloke. I don't even shaved off more than 3 minutes off of his 5K time and 60 pounds in a year. That's nuts.
What I've learned this school year through virtual schooling is that there is no limit to the number of naps you can take during a school day. There's no limit. It doesn't exist.
You've got a point, Yaz. But one class you cannot be sleeping through is Dr. Ling's. You'll miss everything. Plus, there's some valuable life lessons. I mean, he taught me that even the littlest more gas on the pedal, right, could make a collision deadly. Velocity really can change that momentum change that whole collision, I'm gonna drive safely when the DMV finally clears up.
Something that I learned this year was a bit of a shocker to me, but I did learn that B-Post, the host, is a bit of a perfectionist. Now, I'm not knocking the guy, but I am a little bit. I mean, it was the middle of the winter. We're out filming our this little intro that we were doing for our holiday special, and it was only supposed to be like 5 seconds. Didn't even have any lines. All he had to do was just get up from the snow and run away. But it ended up taking 50 minutes, and I remember we were just freezing our tushes off because it was below freezing. I don't know how we didn't get frostbite because, apparently we don't know how to dress for the weather because we were in short sleeves, but that's besides the point, I guess. It was a shocker to me. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but, I would have liked to be a bit warmer on that day. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry about that. I remember that. I deserve that. I'm sorry. That was bad. One thing that I learned this year is that I'm kind of a perfectionist. I don't even know if it's a perfectionist thing. I just have like this urge that I can't move on if something's not right. Maybe that's being perfectionist. I don't know. I just need I need to talk to a doctor or something. But I also learned this year that Lily, an awesome gal, we kind of already knew that, but it just enforced it.
I've learned so many things at WHS, but one thing that I've learned this year is that if you are part of a homecoming committee with Brendan Post, he will not do anything except redirect himself to the helium tank in an attempt to make his voice as high as possible. So, valuable stuff.
Whoa, these are kind of becoming shots at me. What the heck? I mean, in my defense, it's not every day you get to be around a 5-gallon tank of helium. What is a 16-year-old boy supposed to do, okay? Leave me alone. But you know what? One thing I did learn from that is that Marissa, Michelle, Mackenzie, and Brooke, they put their mind to something, namely the homecoming dance. They're going to get it done. And it was brilliant.
One thing I learned this year is Brendan Post is an okay pals partner and an even okayer Wake Up Waldwick host.
All right, this is getting a little heated. Why is everybody taking shots at me? All right, I'll give you the pals thing. Yeah, I learned this year that if I dress up as Santa and want to give my pals gifts, maybe they shouldn't be covered in glow-in-the-dark and rainbow slime. I learned that. That's a story for another time. Leave me alone. For the TV thing, the Wake Up Waldwick, I'm trying here. I don't know what's going on. This is all this fire at me, Emily, is because I said that her dog's brother is cuter than her dog. If you're ever in a predicament that, like, any situation that comes about, just say they're equally as cute, which is true. I don't know why I chose one. Big mistake. I learned you do not choose a dog's brother over the dog.
I learned from the past 4 years at WHS is that B-Post likes to stick his nose in places where it doesn't belong. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a pretty okay leader, but, student council, he's the vice president, he's trying to act like the president. It's not your place to be, B-Post. Also, his dog Jessie, by far, ranks higher on the Post scale than Brendan.
What's going on? This is not warranted. This is not what I asked for. I mean, all right, fine. Maybe I stepped over my boundaries. My bad. But while we're speaking about things that I planned, student council events, Spikeball tournament was a success. I did learn, however, that if you're competing, sunglasses do make you look cool, but don't help your spikeball ability. They kind of hinder them. These guys are really ruthless. They're really laying into me. I'm kind of regretting doing this whole thing. I kind of wish they were all like Mike's, nice and wholesome and boring.
Oh, and another thing that I learned at WHS is that Brendan Post's house, not that fun. He'll invite me over all the time, and I'll pet his dog and have a couple snacks and stuff like that. Besides that, place is straight dust. Place sucks. Like, the walls are ugly, the couch just straight garbage, and like it's just so stale. Don't have fun at all.
Why? This is a nice room. You love it here, Mike. You love it here. What the heck? I don't know why everybody's laying into me. I was trying to do something nice, what everybody learned at school. Okay, we learn so much every day. You know what? Fine. But I guess the final thing that I learned, Mike, whether you hate my house or you love my house, I love hanging out with you, dude. I love hanging out with all of you guys, whether it's track or just seeing you guys in the halls. And that's something I miss, but it's something that I learned to love and I learned to not take for granted. So we'll see you guys soon. Did any of that cut out or no? Okay. All right. So I asked a couple of my buds, some of the loyal Wake Up Waldwick fans. I asked them if they could remind me what I learned this year or what they learned this year, maybe get my gears turning, you know? And they all, or at least most of them, just started laying into me and just started toasting me. I was getting and all of it was like friendly little just little knocks, little grudges there taken out on me. And then Mike just completely ended me. I mean, he roasted my man cave. That's like roasting a guy's hair. His man cave? Mike, come on, man. He had to. He had to. But anyways, I don't know if any of that cut out, but we love I love hanging out with all of you, just even the guys that I don't know that are popping on here, seeing you guys in the halls. And it's unfortunate seniors, tough beans, won't be able to see you. But everybody else, I'm excited to see you guys next year around the halls. And as I've said before, we have big news. And as I've said in past episodes, I save the biggest news for last because how I like it, it's not go big or go home. It's go big and then go home. Go pack it up right after you go big. So, as we all know, as we're all experiencing right now, 2020 has been a roller coaster ride. Um, except not really. Roller coasters are fun. I don't know. I don't really get that analogy, but it's been crazy. Let's just say that. It really has been. We've all heard what's going on right now with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's big. Big things are happening, which is good. That's a good thing. Change should be happening in this country. I ain't gonna get political on a school show. I'm not gonna be doing that. But it's really really crucial for if you want this to be a big thing that you educate yourself and you educate others and try to make an impact. Don't just copy or mimic any what somebody else says. Form your own opinion, research and talk to people, and then form your own opinion and then educate about that opinion. But don't start forcing your opinion on anybody. You know, there's a fine line. But I think one of the big things, besides retweeting your favorite celebrity's tweet or reposting what your friend posts on Instagram, I think what's really important during this time, or at really any big time, is having conversations about this. This is a huge issue. This is a huge issue. Having conversations about this with your friends, with your family, with your siblings. Family and siblings are the same, whatever. But any sort of issue, talking about it, you want to. By that, you can educate and you know what your stance is, and it's not just oh, let me click a button, let me retweet that. You really know where your head is at when it comes to that. This movement is huge, and in order to effectively help it grow, if you want to help it grow, I mean, you should. Um, we all need to be educated and be able to be capable of educating the insensitive and the oblivious. But in the same sense, just as in all arguments or debates, we need to be open to hearing new things. We need to be open to educating ourselves, and we need to get ready to roll with it. This is how our world is changing. Um, there will be a protest at the high school for the movement at noon on Sunday. Please, 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 if you plan to attend, please be safe. Please be smart. Oh my, like this is a big movement. It's terrible that there's this terrible thing that's damaged our lives the past 80 days and will continue to. And there's this huge other entity that we can't ignore and we have to act on now. So while they're happening at the same time, unfortunately, just please don't forget about the virus that has been plaguing our lives. Please be safe. Please be smart. But still, be powerful. Be powerful with your ideas. Be powerful with your voice. Be proud. Stand up for what you believe. Be positive. Don't let your warrior helmet fall. These are tough times, but it's easy to look at the news and be like, "Oh, our world's doomed." But this is where change is coming. This is what happens, and we have to be ready for that and be positive and keep a smile on our face because then people will smile back. I'm not wearing the classiest shirt, but I will still say stay classy, Waldwick. And that doesn't just mean put on a tux like a wacko on your live school show, but be classy in your mindset. Be respectful to others, even if they have a different opinion than you. Listen to them. Listen to them. Have respect for them. Think before you speak and think before you act. And smile. Be happy. Be positive. All right, I'm done. Tune in next week for big things. Brennan Post out.